How's it going, friends? Today we're talking about Justice League. This is going to be a review. Spoilers ahead. Now, I just want to give my take on what I liked about the movie, obviously. So, first off, I know it's gotten lots of negative reviews, but realistically, this was a good movie. It had some good character arcs, and honestly, it was a good, fun time. No one can deny that. There were lots of things that I didn't like, admittedly. CGI was sketchy at times. We know the mustache thing. I think anyone who tries to argue that is an idiot. But realistically, let's talk about some of the things that were good. First off, Batman. I really enjoyed the character arc that they did with Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm one of the few people who actually think that Ben Affleck's Batman is the best Batman we've seen live action. Christian Bale had his high points, but really I have a lot of issues with. Michael Keaton was amazing, but still didn't fully capture it. But I really think that Ben Affleck's Batman is the Batman that personally I and many others grew up reading in comic books and even seeing in the cartoon shows Batman the Animated Series and Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. This is the Batman we wanted to see. He has his moments of a little bit of humor, his little jabs here and there, but he says them with such a straight face because he's a straight-faced guy. That's his thought process. One thing I absolutely loved about the way that they did Batman is they explained the whole Martha thing. Now, many people didn't catch it, but there was a little piece in there that really just put where that Martha whole thing to rest. Everyone jokes that because their mom's names were Martha, that suddenly they were best friends. But no, that's not what it was. See, Batman suddenly realized what Superman was, not because his mom's name was Martha, but because he had a mom. Think about it. This whole time he's thinking that he's this alien who doesn't have any type of human emotion, so he has no actual ties to humanity. He's just going to turn against humanity. But realistically, as he said in the Justice League movie, he was more human than even Batman was, and he realized that afterwards. He fell in love, he had a family, he had a mother. He was human, and he humanized him, and that is what made Batman so great, is because he didn't know that, but then he realized that, and now suddenly he understands it. I really thought The Flash was awesome. I think that the way that they did the CGI with him, his little quips, he wasn't really quippy as much as he was just talkative because he was nervous. It reminded me a lot about like a Spider-Man type of thing, how Spider-Man talks and says a lot. If you notice what Ezra Miller was doing, he wasn't trying to be funny. He was just saying something, but it ended up being funny just because he was awkward and weird. But that's what made him an interesting character. I do think they could have developed him a little bit better, but I really blame Warner Brothers more than the directors for this because realistically, they had time constraints. They weren't able to bring people out as much as they want, which goes on to another character for me. I loved Aquaman. Aquaman I thought was a great addition. They could have done more, again, but the same thing with the time frame that he wasn't able to have because of time. But what they did with him was really good. I like that they made him not this weak character, but he was super strong. He was stronger than anyone really could have imagined Aquaman being able to be who doesn't know anything about comics. I read a lot of comics growing up, so I knew who he was. I knew he wasn't this weak, horrible character that everyone made him out to be that can only talk to fish. But I like that they played on that a little bit. I do wish they would have done more with him, and I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do in the Aquaman movie. But until then, I'm really, really looking forward. Cyborg. I liked Cyborg a lot. That was the one that kind of scared me because honestly, the previews made it seem like Cyborg was going to suck. But instead, we actually got a really good version of Cyborg. I thought that he was very well played. I thought that the actor did a really good job taking his notions of who he was and bringing that to life. The CGI was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I like that he kind of developed. You know, they didn't explain everything, but they did at the same time with that one sentence. He learned things that he didn't know yesterday. He just woke up knowing what to do. And it was weird to him. That I thought was awesome. There were little tidbits in this whole movie that you have to pay attention, but they do give somewhat of an explanation to it, so it's not bad. Wonder Woman again was awesome, and Superman, this was the best version of Superman that I've seen. I really do like the Man of Steel, the dark brooding Superman, but it was good to see him a little more lighter, a little bit more ways that people liked. And that's what Superman should be. He's a beacon of hope that people actually like. So I appreciate that they did that for him as well. Let's talk about the villain. Steppenwolf wasn't bad, but he wasn't good really either. He was a filler. He was an okay filler. They made him pretty powerful, which I do appreciate, but at the same time, they could have done more with him. They could have made him more powerful. They could have made him more of a threat, or even have more of a story arc. I liked how he took on the entire Amazons and pretty much wiped the floor with them, even though that game of Keep Away was pretty freaking awesome in itself too. But they could have done more. The final battle to me was hit and miss. One of the things I didn't like about Batman and a couple of the other characters is that the action wasn't as in-depth as I would have liked them to have been. Batman's supposed to be this great strategist and fighter, and he was just kind of an all-around person just doing things and not really accomplishing anything. I like how they made the Flash actually work on saving people. I thought that that was one thing that they tried to acknowledge compared to the other movies and compared to what even Avengers did in the beginning, where there was all this destruction and nobody thought about it. Nobody thought about the other people around. They were saving people. There weren't many people there to begin with, but the ones that were there, they were all about saving them to the best of their ability, and Superman helped out on that. I really thought the story overall was really good. I thought it was a good, exciting time, and I think that this movie is going to lead to more. I really love the end credit scene with Deathstroke and Lex Luthor, which takes me to a whole nother thought about Lex Luthor and how he might be able to be redeemable. I didn't like Jesse Eisenberg. I thought that he could have been an okay Lex Luthor at the very beginning if he played the, you know, the Facebook guy type of thing. That pompous arrogance. He could have done that, but he didn't in Batman vs. Superman, but that's besides the point. Instead, this version seems to be like he could fix that, and he can go back and he could be different from that and be the Lex Luthor that we could actually get to love. Maybe. We'll see. Deathstroke should be awesome. I think the whole concept of an Injustice League should be great, although I feel like that teaser takes away from Darkseid, who's supposed to be the big bad guy now that brought them together in the first place. I felt like that was a trade-off, so I don't know which one to say. Overall, though, I think that I would rate this movie a solid B. It wasn't perfect by any means, but anyone who is going there looking for a good time, looking for a good movie, is going to love this movie. People looking to find flaws, they're going to find flaws, and they are there. But I think overall it's going to be awesome, and I think people are going to love it. I'm excited to see what happens next, and just to see what else Warner Brothers is going to do. Hopefully they don't mess up more movies, but they just continue to make good movies with good characters that we all love. Until next time.